Hello and welcome to the studio. So today I'd like to show you a little tip for avoiding those razor sharp nubs that you get at the end of zip ties when you snip off their long tails. Now for those of you who've ever worked with zip ties will know how handy they are. And you'll also know that if you take a regular pair of diagonal cutters and you clip off that really long tail, you will get this razor sharp nub at the end of your zip tie and you will inevitably cut your hand on it. Now, there are a few ways around it, and it is possible to get a nice flush cut like this. And it usually requires the use of special tools. The most common special tool is something like this. These are Flush Cut Pliers, also known as sprue cutters. And they are very, very nice, but there are a couple problems with them. The first is that the blades tend to get very, very dull very quickly. So if you happen to use these to cut wires in addition to cutting zip ties, you'll notice that after a little while they'll become too dull to give you that nice flush cut. The second problem is that they do tend to get lost very easily. Maybe it's just me, but I have 3 pairs of these somewhere in my toolbox. No idea where. I haven't seen them since the winter. Fortunately, there is actually a very common household tool that you can use to get the exact same effect. And that tool is this. Yep, this is a pair of concave toenail clippers. These were in my medicine cabinet, but you can get these online for about $3. Now, what do you do with them? Well, first you take a pair of zip ties and you clip off the long tail with whatever you have on hand. There we go. And then just take the nail clippers and you put them over this little nub here and cut off the nub. And there it is. A nice flush cut that's not going to stab you or slice you open. Pretty neat, right? Now, this works for plastic ties and cable ties of all sizes. Everything from these little guys here to these really giant ones, for which I've yet to find a use, but one day I shall. Now for those of you who are looking for a totally toolless solution, there is yet another way. And that involves getting some of these. These are self-cutting zip ties. And the way that they work is that they have a little razor blade built into the head here. All you have to do is tie up the zip tie like normal. And then when you're done, twist the head like this. And there it is. A nice flush cut, no stabs, no scrapes, and no tools. Now there are some disadvantages to using these self-cutting zip ties. The first is that they are a little more expensive than your regular ties. And the second is that they only come in a limited number of sizes and shapes. So if you need something really long or you need something heavy duty, well, you'll have to stick to the traditional ties. The nice thing about these guys is that they will work no matter what you get. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you at the track. Now for those of you who insist on using the right tool for every occasion, there is another solution. Amazon sells 5 packs of these guys. So buy a set and leave them all over your garage.